In the previous video about the Ramayana, I provided a summary of the main storyline. In this second part, I would like to talk about specific side stories within the epic that I didn't have the opportunity to cover in the primary narrative but are deserving of mention. The stories I plan to explore in this video include the tale of Mahabali, which is the namesake for Bali Island, the origin story of the Ganges, and a narrative centered on Indra, the king of the gods. Let's commence with the story of Mahabali. Mahabali is characterized as a just and generous Asura, demon, king. Notably, he temporarily possessed the Amrita, the elixir of eternal life, which was acquired by the Asuras during the churning of the ocean of milk. During a conflict between the Devas, gods, and Asuras, Mahabali was killed but subsequently resurrected after partaking of the Amrita, rendering him immortal. Consequently, he is recognized as one of the Chiranjeevi, a group of 7 individuals believed to be immortal. It is anticipated that he will ascend to the throne of heaven in the next Yuga cycle, cosmic age. Following numerous battles, Mahabali had asserted dominion over both heaven and earth. When the Devas approached Vishnu in a desperate plea to prevent their impending annihilation, Vishnu grappled with a moral dilemma. He was reluctant to engage in warfare and could not bring himself to harm his devoted follower, Mahabali. To restore the natural order, Vishnu took on the form of a dwarf Brahmin, one of his 9 incarnations, known as Vamana. During a grand celebration hosted by Mahabali, Vamana had the opportunity to meet him at the Asura king's palace. Vamana expressed his sole ambition in life was to encounter someone as renowned as Mahabali. Touched by these words, Mahabali offered him a gift, which Vamana initially declined. Mahabali, determined to bestow a gift, insisted that Vamana specify his desire. In response, Vamana made a seemingly simple request for a piece of land. Mahabali readily agreed, urging him to select any land he desired. However, Vamana imposed a condition that the land should be measured within 3 strides of his feet. At this moment, a brief hesitation arose before Mahabali's guru, Sukracarya, interceded, advising him against hasty decisions and highlighting the deceptive nature of the dwarf Brahmin. Nevertheless, propelled by a strong sense of responsibility, Mahabali chose to fulfill Vamana's request. The diminutive dwarf then underwent a miraculous transformation, expanding to colossal proportions that spanned the earth and the heavens. With his first step, he measured the entire earth, and with the second, he enveloped the celestial heavens. As the universe had no space remaining, Vamana inquired of Mahabali where to place his third step. Overwhelmed by this display of divine power, Mahabali knelt, bowed, and humbly offered his own head as a resting place for the third step. Without hesitation, Vamana, now revealed as Vishnu, placed his foot on Mahabali's head, thus subduing the once mighty conqueror of the worlds. In a compassionate act, Vishnu granted Mahabali a boon that allowed his annual return to his homeland. The harvest festivals of Balapratipada and Onam are celebrated in honor of his yearly homecoming, particularly in the state of Kerala, as well as in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. These festivities often coincide with the 3rd day of Deepavali, marking the commencement of the Kartika month. The second story, concerning the origin of the Ganges, commences by acknowledging its remarkable ability to purify and transform anything it touches. A mere sip of its waters or the immersion of one's remains in it bestows salvation upon the departing soul. However, before the Ganges could grace the earth with its divine presence, it needed to be harnessed and controlled. There once reigned a king named Sakara, who ruled the earth with his numerous sons, each distinguished by their valor and unwavering devotion to their father. At a crucial juncture in Sakara's rule, he aspired to conduct a momentous ritual, the horse sacrifice. This sacred ceremony involved the release of a horse to roam freely across the frontiers of numerous kingdoms. Any realm that permitted the horse's passage signified its acknowledgement of the horse's owner's dominion. However, any attempt to obstruct the horse's journey was regarded as a challenge, inevitably leading to war. The original owner of the horse would then reclaim it by force, and consequently, all the territories crossed by the horse became vassals of the king. His triumph was celebrated with the grand horse sacrifice, elevating him to the status of the supreme lord of the earth. This phenomenon even posed a threat to the gods, including the king of the gods, Indra. Consequently, Indra and the other deities remained highly vigilant and anxious whenever such a sacrifice was contemplated, striving to thwart it. As Sankara's horse embarked on its journey, Indra seized and concealed it in the deepest subterranean realm, located behind the hermit sage Kapila. The news of the horse's mysterious disappearance underground triggered extensive excavations by Sankara's sons, leading them into the earth's very core. Their relentless pursuit ultimately brought them to the horse, which was tethered behind the meditating sage. Their suspicion that the sage had stolen the horse led to a stern, single glare from the sage, reducing the sons to ashes. Only one member of the party, a grandson of the emperor, survived this fateful expedition. He humbly sought the sage's forgiveness, returned home, and assisted the aging king in completing the horse sacrifice. Subsequently, King Sankara yielded his royal responsibilities in favor of his grandson, whose son would later be known as Bhagiratha. Bhagiratha bore a profound responsibility to grant salvation to his ancestors, ensuring they were not left as restless spirits in the subterranean realm due to improper burial. To achieve this noble purpose, he embarked on a fervent 10,000-year prayer directed towards Lord Brahma, the creator. Brahma guided him to seek the assistance of Shiva in bringing the Ganga down from the celestial realms and employing her holy waters to purify the remains of his forebears. Bhagiratha devoted 10,000 years to fervent prayers offered to Shiva, who eventually appeared and assured him of his support. His arduous journey extended to a total of 30,000 years of penance, marked by severe austerities, such as subsisting on fallen dry leaves, then air, followed by sun rays, and ultimately relinquishing even these to exist on virtually nothing. Throughout this remarkable journey, Bhagiratha remained steadfast in his single-minded purpose and unwavering faith. At the culmination of Bhagiratha's extended meditation, the Ganges, with her origins in the distant celestial realm of Brahma, commenced her descent in a resounding deluge. As pledged, Shiva materialized just as the deluge loomed, poised to devastate the earth. Shiva received the full force of the descent on his head. The once imminent deluge dissipated into the entwined, matted locks of his hair. Shiva then permitted a trickle of the Ganges to flow from his hair. Bhagiratha skillfully guided this stream underground, enabling the souls of his ancestors to find salvation. Through these efforts, Bhagiratha not only granted salvation to his forebears but also contributed to the well-being of all humanity. The pit that Sankara's sons had dug during their quest to locate the horse gradually filled with water, evolving into the oceans we recognize today. The third story involves the king of the gods, Indra. Brahma once crafted a woman, Ahilya, from the very essence of absolute beauty, the embodiment of perfection. Indra, the supreme deity among the gods, was captivated by her beauty and believed that only he was worthy of her hand. Observing Indra's arrogance and presumption, Brahma entrusted the girl's care to sage Gautama, choosing him as her guardian. She was raised under the sage's tutelage, and when the time was right, he returned her to Brahma. Brahma recognized Gautama's purity of heart and mind, and he declared, "Marry her, for you alone are deserving of her hand." Ahilya was thus wedded and blessed by Brahma and other celestial beings. Having spent her formative years with Gautama, Ahilya understood his needs and proved to be an ideal wife, and they lived in happiness. Nevertheless, Indra could never overcome his infatuation for Ahilya and often visited Gautama's hermitage in various disguises, eagerly awaiting opportunities to gaze upon Ahilya's beauty. He also observed Gautama's daily routines, including his practice of leaving the hermitage each dawn for a dip in the river and his prayers. Unable to bear the torment of love any longer, Indra decided to pursue Ahilya through deceit. One day, scarcely able to wait for Gautama to depart at his usual hour, Indra mimicked the crowing of a rooster, rousing the sage from his sleep. Believing that morning had arrived, Gautama left for the river. Seizing the moment, Indra took on the guise of the sage, entered the hermitage, and made love to Ahilya. Although Ahilya eventually realized that her lover was an impostor, yet she was powerless to prevent it. Just then, Gautama returned, intuitively sensing that something was amiss. He caught the pair in the act. Ashamed and repentant, Ahulya stood aside, while Indra transformed into a cat, hoping to slip away undetected. However, the sage saw through the disguise and addressed the cat. "Cat, I recognize you. Your obsession with females is your downfall. May your body bear 1,000 marks of the female, so that all the world may see what truly occupies your mind." Instantly, every inch of Indra's body displayed the female organ, causing immense shame to the proud deity. After Indra slinked away to his own realm, Gautama turned to his wife and pronounced, "You have sinned with your body. May your body petrify into a shapeless piece of stone right where you stand." In desperation, Ahulya implored him, "A grave mistake has been made. Noble souls often forgive the transgressions of lesser beings. Please, I feel a heaviness creeping up my feet. Do something, please help me." The sage, now feeling compassion, responded, "Your redemption will come when the son of Dasaratha, Rama, passes through this place at some future date." "When? Where?" she tried to ask in desperation, but before the words left her lips, she had already transformed into stone. Indra's predicament initially became a subject of mockery throughout the worlds. He lived in seclusion and darkness, unable to appear before either men or women. This situation caused significant concern among the gods, as his various duties across the realms remained suspended. The gods collectively approached Brahma and requested his intervention. By that time, sage Gautama's anger had dissipated. In response to Brahma's plea, he said, "May these 1,000 additional features be bestowed upon Indra as eyes." Henceforth, Indra became known as the thousand-eyed god. In the Ramayana Epic, when Rama encountered Ahulya in her petrified state, she underwent a transformation and was ultimately reconciled with her husband, Gautama.